And today's guest for the second time is the one and only Mark Haughton.
Once a belief is accepted in the subconscious executes that belief as a physical experience. So let's say you figure out, you learn this nice thing. Okay, wait a minute. So I used to believe that I have to have the right connections to be successful. Hmm. So you know what I'm gonna do? Since that's a limiting belief, now I'm just gonna believe that I have all the connections already. If you keep that in your mindset and you think about that daily and you repeat that daily and you keep telling your subconscious that daily, that's a discipline, then that belief now, the old belief will change and it's become your new belief.
Hello, my name is Aaron Wexler. Welcome to another episode of Within the Game. Let's go! Within the Game is all about sharing inspiration. We like to explore manifesting energy, spirituality, and just playing life like a game. And I'm just so happy everyone's here with us today. If you find value out of this podcast, please do me a favor and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. And also, please follow and support my guests. And today's guest for the second time is the one and only Mark Haughton. Mark, I appreciate you for being here.
Thank you. Good to be here, Aaron. What's that? What's going on? How's everything going with you?
It's going great, man. Let's go, man. I'm just pumped. I'm pumped that we're back for a second time because the first one almost went viral. It's like got 20,000 views on YouTube, and I was just
Whoa,
listening. Yeah, I was just listening
I
back
didn't
to
know
it.
that.
Yeah, that
Ah, I
was
did not know that, man. That's congrats, man. Whoa.
yeah, about 3 years ago, and
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, so glad to have you back. So, Mark Haughton is, like I said, second time on the show. He's a
Hmm.
manifestation coach who works at the intersection of performance, the nervous system, and subconscious reprogramming, helping people move from forcing outcomes to living in alignment. Let's go. We're going to go deeper into manifestation identity and what it really means to embody the version of the person that you are becoming today. His website is mindcenterworld.com. YouTube channel is awesome. Check him out at Mark Haughton 888. And then all socials at Mark underscore A Haughton. He also has a thriving community on School where he goes deep into topics related to manifesting and abundance, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Shout out to Timothy Schultz again for the connection. I think I found you through Timothy. Timothy's got an
Yeah,
awesome
yeah.
he's got an awesome channel as well.
Oh man, yeah, Timothy's great.
And Mark, let's just jump right into the content. So, what I really wanted to do, and the reason why I wanted to have you back for a second time, I want to go deeper into manifestation. I feel like since the first time that we spoke, we talked a lot about manifesting. It has now become a keyword in society. More and more people are interested in it. I'm fascinated by it. Let's talk about it. Like, how have you evolved your concept of manifesting and manifestations?
Yeah, that's great. You're right. I mean, manifesting is especially with the a lot of the younger generations. Like teenagers and up, everybody's now using manifesting.
Yeah.
So um, that says it has an impact on society. But what the evolution comes in when you understand more about the biology and the quantum science of how the body interacts with the field. So this field around us where everything comes from unformed to form. So I guess that would be the evolution, is just to focus more on that and the nervous system, the mind-body connection, and then interacting with the field. The field is in physics. It's where the atoms, the protons, electrons come in and take physical form.
Man, I love the way you talk about manifesting. I'm so attracted to your content because at first I was attracted because you were talking, and you still, quite a bit, you talk about lotteries and manifesting wealth, and that's very attractive
Yeah.
too. I feel like that's very relatable to all of us.
Hmm.
Um, but I get this vibe that you're exploring manifesting from this kind of fully integrative way. I want to ask you about attunement because I've heard you speak about this. Let's dive into that now. Attunement. For me, what that means is kind of this first step into frequency. It's like
Hmm.
attuning your frequency to the desired outcome. Am I right
Hmm.
about that? And if so, expand on that. If you need to adjust the way I said that, please do as well.
No, no, no. Oh yeah, so a tune in and frequency are two different states, right?
Okay.
So a frequency is always live, it's always there. It's frequencies are I'll use frequencies. Let's look at it like this. So you'd have a bridge or a tunnel. Let's say you go into another city, you have to go under a bridge or a tunnel, right? So the frequency would be like the highway that leads to your destination, right? So frequencies, uh, all right. So all of us have we have a brain, right? We have the same neurons, all the same synapses, all the same stuff, right, in our brain. So if they take your brain and put my brain, Albert Einstein, but everybody's brain, they have the same uh, biological makeup. You look, you see a neuron, okay. But the interesting thing is that none of our brains see the same world. So that means it's broadcasting a frequency. So we have different highways. So we see reality like a subjective thing, and it's not objective. No two people will see the same reality. So that's a frequency. A frequency is what takes you to a different reality, right? Now, attunement is, let me see the best way I could describe attunement to you. So attunement would be the car that you drive on the freeway to get to your destination. So that means your car got to be right. You got to have enough gas. You want to be reliable. You don't want to drive it on a messed up axle or, because if you break down, can't get to your destination, even though you're on the frequency, the tunnel, the bridge to take you somewhere. So what attunement basically means for your body, it just means that your conscious and your subconscious mind basically have to be in agreement with each other. That's attunement. And it's actually attunement and alignment are one and the same. So when people say you're
Right.
aligned, it's just another way of saying attuned. So the alignment and attunement are no longer, it's not different. So just like you say, someone say, uh, you know, tomato, another person say tomato. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is why I wanted to have you back on
Mhm.
to like really like create these distinctions and these nuances, right? Because it's just fascinating to me. Um, do I have this right also with frequency? Like frequency, and this is all relating to manifesting, right? Whether someone's listening to this from an athletic point of view, a business point of view, or just being the best version of yourself point of view, um, frequency is kind of like the emotional baseline that we have. I hear you talk a lot about state, the state of being, the state, like, you talk a lot about the winning frequency, the winning mindset, like being in a great
Yeah.
state, emotional state. Like, talk a little bit about that emotional state and in a regulation kind of way, emotional regulation, because I feel like we all have these ups and downs all day long, and it's when I ask about frequency and attunement, we
Right,
want to
right,
kind of
right,
level out that state of being, right?
right. So the state of being, then it's your vibration.
Right.
It's what you're oscillating. Just so keep in mind, a frequency. Okay, so your audience can get this. So let's use this. A radio station. When you tune to 98.6 FM, that's 98.6 FM is going to always be there. You tune to 101.2, 101.2 is going to always be. That's a frequency. The dial that tunes it would be the vibration. So your state of being is what you're vibrating, what you're oscillating. Depending on what you're vibrating, you'll be attracted to a different frequency. So if you want to listen to the jazz frequency, but you're on the rock frequency, then you're not going to get jazz. You got to be on a rock. So that means your dial have to know the exact, turning point where the jazz frequency is. So your state of being comes down to what's called a vibration. So what is a vibration? So vibration is basically what you're emitting from the attunement. So when you're attuned, when your conscious and your subconscious are in alignment, okay, now vibration means now the rest of your body. What is the rest of your body emitting? Okay, how are you feeling? What is your state of mind? Are you optimistic? Are you more negative? Do you feel like things are working in your favor? Do you feel like things aren't? Your self-talk, how is that going? All of those create your vibration, your environment, where you live, what you eat, who you associate with. Those affect your vibration.
Yeah.
So if you want to be if you want to have the highest vibration, then you have to change a lot of stuff. Uh, First thing you have to change is the way you do the regular things during the day. So, for example, you have to create discipline. So, one of the most powerful ways that you can get your vibration up is sleeping. You have to get the correct amount of sleep time, right? And
Yeah.
also not just the sleep and not the amount of sleep and the hours you get to sleep, but the times you go to sleep. That affects your vibration. Also, the food we eat, that's another topic, but that definitely your nervous system is number one that affects your vibration.
This episode is brought to you in part by Blenders Eyewear, and I'm fired up about this one. If you're playing beach volleyball or doing any kind of outdoor activity where there's a lot of bright sunshine, you already know the glare is real. That's why I rock Blenders sunglasses. They're stylish, lightweight, polarized, and built for long days on the sand, on the court, or anywhere outside. Huge thank you to Blenders for supporting the show. Head to blenderseyewear.com and use code WCB20 for 20% off your purchase. Let's go! The food that we eat, I don't think that's another topic. I think all of this is the same. I think it all, because basically what I'm hearing from you is it's everything. It's like your choices, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I can tell immediately when I have clean food, nutritious food. I can tell
Yeah.
immediately that my body, my mind, and my spirit are like, let's go, yes. And
Exactly.
then vice
Exactly.
versa when I have fast
Yeah.
food, you know,
Hmm.
and hydration, you know.
Yep.
Um, but all these things, Mark, you know, and even with your, you know, your awesome school community, and I love how much you share in there. You share so much. I'll link that here for
Yeah.
people that want to join. But all these things are beliefs, you know, and I like your beliefs. I like them because they feel good, you know, and I like I, we you know a big part of my show is about growing into the best version of yourself, right? And so
Right. Right.
like that a company what comes with that is these new beliefs. So what I want to do right now is I want to flip that and I want to ask you about limiting beliefs because I feel like this is kind of the number one thing almost or top five when it comes to manifesting and being aware of all of our ability to manifest. Um, Limiting beliefs, you know, like first of all, what are they and where do they live and how can we change them?
So a limiting belief is just exactly what it sounds like, something that limits you from uh, a belief that can get you what you want. So an example of a limiting belief is um, money is the root of all evil. An example of a limiting belief is um, you got to have the right connections to become successful. Uh, Another limiting belief is it's hard. Love is hard to find. I'm just not good enough. Those are examples of limiting beliefs. So, what is a limiting belief? It is a belief that your subconscious holds to be true. And anything your subconscious holds to be true, it's going to make you repeat it as a habit. Now, um, where do limiting beliefs come from? They started when we were toddlers or kids. So we'll get them a lot from our parents and from the environment we live in.
Yeah.
Well, if you look in the environment we live in, it's all more about scarcity, you know, that you got to really work. Another limiting belief is you have to work hard to get what you want in life. Another limiting belief is you have to sacrifice a lot to get what you like. Another limiting belief is if it's too easy, it's not good enough for you, it's not good. All those are limiting beliefs.
Wow. Wow. And
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
where you ask me now
Yeah.
how to overcome them, right?
Hmm.
So once you identify a belief that no longer serves you, you now have to bring the belief up. For example, it's really simple to change a belief. It's not rocket science. Here's how you do it. It's always you always got to look for things that are want to serve what you want to serve you, right? So let's say you figure out you learn this nice thing. Okay, wait a minute. So I used to believe that I have to have the right connections to be successful. Hmm. So you know what I'm gonna do? Since that's a limiting belief, now I'm just gonna believe that I have all the connections already. I don't have to have the right connections. Connections are already out there for me. And then if you keep that in your mindset, and you think about that daily and you repeat that daily and you keep telling your subconscious that daily, that's a discipline, then that belief now, the old belief will change and it's become your new belief. Anything with a belief now, remember, once a belief is accepted in the subconscious executes that belief as a physical experience.
And we're going to jump into Askfirmations in a second because I think that's
Yeah.
very relatable here. But can you help
Mm.
someone who might be listening to that or watching this and is like, okay, a limiting belief, I got it, but how do I know if my belief is a limiting belief or or a self-serving belief?
Well, it's very simple. If you if the belief is not getting you to where you want to go, so okay, I'll use another one. I'll use the same one. I have to have the right connections to become wealthy and successful. I have to know people. I have to get money, right? Now, that belief right there, when you think about it, you say, wait a minute, it's hard to find connections. Why can't I find connections? That belief is not serving you. And then to really hit it home for you is this, it's very simple. Every reality is always subjective to an individual. So beliefs, you can choose a belief that serve you with no reason. A belief doesn't need a reason to exist. It doesn't need proof or evidence. It just needs repetition in the subconscious to accept it. So someone can go right now and say, man, you know what? I believe that money is really hard to make, man. And I'm finding love or, it's hard to, I believe that only 1% make it into the pros and I got to be very lucky to make it to the professionals or whatever in sports.
Right. Right.
Okay. Now when someone sees this and they say, wait a minute, so this guy's telling me that I can literally just change a belief on the fly and yeah, I'm telling you that because that's how your mind works. I mean, you
Right.
understand that your mind, your subconscious generates your physical reality. It's not your conscious mind. So now you say, okay, wait a minute. So it's actually quite easy for me to be in the pros. Man, okay, so money is easy to make. Wait a minute. I don't have to work hard to be successful. I just got to work smarter, more efficient. That'll actually become a real thing in your life. Your subconscious can make somebody come into your life to prove that belief to you to be true, can open ways and opportunities. Because again, the world we live in is a field. It's not a physical reality. It's energy disguised as matter, so to speak. So that's the trickery of all of this. So people walk around every day and they see the building and they see the trees and the plants and they sit down and touch stuff. Their brain is deceiving them. It's that's not actually what's happening in reality. That's just your perception and your brain is your subconscious is generating that for you. So you can change reality. Reality is malleable. And that's the biggest truth out there. That so when you choose a belief that serves you, your subconscious now can bring it in because there is only subjective views now.
It's so empowering to think like that, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's just it just creates this like I got this. It actually creates confidence, and that's why I
Mhm.
love that. And that's why I love this conversation. And I think the next part of this is you have these awesome subliminals on YouTube that I've been listening to lately. They're really
Oh,
cool.
nice. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're really cool. And
Mm.
I want you to talk a little bit about subliminals because that's an actual way to help create a new belief, a
Yeah.
physical way, an actual thing, a practice that we can do. And Mark, I would like you to tie in Askfirmations because that you changed my life actually. I want you to know
Mhm.
that. I'm saying this
Oh,
publicly.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, because you
Fine.
changed because I was really big into affirmations, which is like
Uh-huh.
I am successful, I am
Mhm.
winning, I am
Mhm.
amazing, I am awesome. I'm a great podcaster, I'm a great interviewer, and that those are helpful. But the Askfirmations is like, why am I so awesome? Why am I, why am I successful?
Right,
Why
right.
am I attracting cool, amazing people into my life? And then the subconscious immediately answers it, and you get this really cool play in the mind.
Yeah.
So please take some time and talk about the power of the subliminals and the ask formation.
Well, yeah. So what subliminals are? So when you go to bed at night, so you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So when you go to bed at night, your conscious mind shuts off, and then your subconscious takes over more, right? So When your conscious mind shuts off, it's your brain operates in different states, frequencies, right? Or frequency range, bandwidth. So you have alpha, theta, beta, delta, gamma. So when you're awake, you're in a beta with a B, beta state. So that's when you're more aware, you're logical, your mind can resist, insist, reject, accept something. So when you go to sleep, that part of the mind filters, that filter shuts down. So now you move into what's called a theta state. So when you're in that state, when you're sleeping, now you use subliminals. Subliminals are frequencies that talk to your subconscious on a very low format, so your conscious mind can't hear it. So it's below consciousness. Um, so when you go to sleep and use a subliminal, anything now that subliminal says will get into your subconscious because your conscious mind is not awake to judge it or decide it. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So when you're in waking hours and your belief is this is a tough world out there. I gotta work hard. I gotta grind. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money I can't. Wealth and sex. I gotta be the best. I gotta try to do this. I gotta get connected. That's your conscious mind belief, right? Except
Yep.
so when you go to bed now and you listen to subliminals and you hear the sub you if you ever hear the words or the subliminal words or what they call the affirmations in that, then your mind will say, wait a minute, that's not true. So it can't go into your subconscious, right? Because it's gonna say, because you're out there saying it's difficult to be successful, and a subliminal is saying everything comes to me easy and effortlessly. Money is easy and effortlessly. Success, your mind says, no, correct? So it blocks that. However, when you're asleep, that isn't there anymore. So subliminals will go right to your subconscious. Think about your subconscious that it differs from the conscious mind is uh it nothing is up for negotiation. It's only acceptance. Your subconscious cannot it's not smart enough to judge and compare. It can only accept. So anything that comes in there becomes a belief, then becomes a truth, then
Mm.
becomes a physical experience. So that's how subliminals work.
And before
And
we get to ask-firmations, do you recommend that people start to practice that at nighttime? Like putting on, it doesn't, whether it's yours or
mm,
there's so many on YouTube now.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
do you recommend that at nighttime?
I mean, that's a requirement.
A requirement. Okay. Okay.
I mean, if you want your life to change, that's the number one way you're going to change your life.
Mm.
But that's not be that doesn't get talked about a lot. But yeah, uh, all of my students in school, they all know that there's subliminals as a part of their life. Every night they have subliminals because it greatly impacts your life. It's the greatest cheat code ever discovered, man.
I
If you
love
want to
that. I'm
make
gonna
money,
start. Yeah.
if you want to make money, if
Yeah.
you want to win a lottery, if you want to be the number one draft pick, if you want to have the best shot, the best base, whatever, a subliminal can do that for you, man.
It feels like it's kind of like software upgrading. It's like when you go into your app store and you want to
That's
update all
exactly
your
what it is.
apps. It's kind of like that, right?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So that doesn't get shared a lot, man, because I mean the reason why it wouldn't get shared a lot because it'll be a big disadvantage to the rest of the society. Then everyone will start getting what they want, and society could crumble.
Mm. And then the other thing that came to mind too is that it's almost easier to zone out, watch the news, watch watch TV, watch a movie,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of like numb out a little bit. It's easier to do
Mm-hmm.
that. It actually takes a little bit of work to kind of get into that state of being of like allowing those subliminals to come in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But what I'm hearing from you is that it's a requirement. It's imperative that we start to at least practice a little bit of that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And, it doesn't take a little bit of discipline. All you have to do is just because I mean everybody you go to sleep anyways. You just turn it on, put the volume low enough where you could hear it, and go to sleep.
Yeah, cool.
You,
I'll
you
link some
don't.
of your yeah, I'll link
Yeah.
some of your subliminals here in this one as well. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, yeah, I was saying, it's not something you have to pay attention to and listen to it. Just let it play in a black background while you go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
So,
Okay, so let's get into ask-firmations. Like I told you, this one kind of changed my life here. And
yeah.
just to go back on it real quick, you're basically affirming with a question, and I would love for you to explain it better.
Well, okay, so this goes into cognitive science now. on how your mind processes information, right? So there's two minds at work. You have your conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. The conscious mind houses your logic, your smartness, intelligence, all that stuff. So the differences people don't understand is questions open your mind, statements closes the mind.
Yes.
So what do I mean by that? So remember the rule number one, right? Is that everything comes into existence through the subconscious, not the conscious. Your conscious. So let's use sports because
Okay.
I know you do sports.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's how it will work. So let's say you're broadcasting a football, basketball game, right? Your conscious mind will be the commentator, the guys that are calling the game. The subconscious mind would be the actual players in the game. They can run the play, they can decide what play to run, they can stop, pull up, whatever. The commentator cannot go out and enter the game and play. They can't do it. So that's what your conscious mind. So everything that you see in your life right now, you're seeing. You're not the one that manifests. Your subconscious. Your conscious is observing it, but it's making you think that it is the one that's controlling it. That's
Mm.
the job of the conscious mind, to make you believe that it's doing the job for you. But all along, it can't manifest anything. It can only observe. So just like the sports game, that commentator will give his opinion and say, well, you know what? He really does good today, but if he makes this, if he does this to be better too, you're thinking, well, this guy knows what he's talking about. But has he played? He never played a lick in his life. He's just based on his opinion. And then you say, hey, can you go in the game and show us what that? Can't do it. Right? So that's how your mind works. So one part of your mind would call the critic, the observer. The other part of your mind would be the influencer or the creator, right? So anytime you use a statement, it's only going to affect the observer part of the mind, the commentator. Remember now what I said. Commentators and observers, they cannot change the game. They cannot influence anything. They can only talk about it. They can't walk about it. So when someone says, I am wealthy, I am successful, they have been brainwashed, I guess, to think that they're going to become wealthy or successful. That doesn't happen. Can't happen. You can feel good because, when you say I'm wealthy, it makes you feel good, but that's still not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So this is why some people can use affirmations for years and don't get anything. I'll say this about affirmations though. Affirmations work, but it will take you years to
Right.
get results.
Right.
Affirmation, because if you keep saying it, eventually some of it may creep into the unconscious mind. Askfirmations now, you can get results in as little as days to months. So an
Right.
affirmation would take you up to 5 to 10 years by saying every day. An affirmation will take you 90 days to 6 months, and you'll get everything you want. So what happens with affirmations? So now let's move to the subconscious. The subconscious is a prover mind. That's what it's known as. It wants to prove to you what you say to be true. So when you ask a question, why am I so wealthy? Why am I so successful? Even if you're not, remember what I said about the subconscious. It can't judge. It can't tell you no. So any question you ask, the subconscious says, I have to prove to him why he's successful.
Yeah.
Just like it says, why do I suck so much at this game? Subconscious says, I have to prove to you why you suck, and you continue to be suck. Just like this one. Why do I always attract these crazy psycho people or crazy relationships? Right? But you keep attracting them
Yeah.
because that's an example of how the subconscious works. It's not can't know it's good or bad. It's just saying, I'm going to show you why. So that's the power of affirmation. So when you ask a question, the subconscious must respond. When you use a statement, the subconscious chills. It can't respond. So when you
Yeah.
say, I am wealthy and successful, the conscious mind says, I'm wealthy and successful. The subconscious says, okay, you're wealthy and successful.
Right.
But
Right.
it's just going to agree. It's not going to take action. But when you say, why am I so wealthy? And the subconscious says, oh, you want me to go out and show you why? Okay, all you
Right.
have to say is that. I'll go do it. So
That
that's
yeah.
that's basically how affirmations work.
Pardon the interruption. Just wanted to give a quick shout out of gratitude and recognition to you, the viewer and listener. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this podcast journey over the last 5 years. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for being here. My ask is that you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if it resonates, leave a comment. And if it really resonates, share this with someone. All those things really do help the channel and helps us spread more inspiration and more love and more gratitude and more curiosity to more people. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Much love. Stay inspired. Yeah, it's huge. A couple things that came up for me right there. The first
Yeah.
thing is there's a little bit of resistance sometimes when you say I am. Let's use wealthy, right? I am wealthy, but
Right.
you're really poor, right? You're really
Right.
struggling. You're behind on your payments. So if you keep
Mm-hmm.
saying I am wealthy, it actually creates this like dichotomy, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
I'm actually not wealthy, you know.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so there's that resistance, and I think that's what you
Mm-hmm.
mean by it takes longer, right?
Yeah.
Now the
Exactly.
contrast, yeah, go ahead.
No, I think you're actually right. Yeah.
Okay. So, but here's the flip side to that, Mark, and this is where my curiosity comes in. In the spiritual world, um, there's something called the great I am, right? I am that I am. In the spiritual world, when we say that, when we, as I'm like all people, when people affirm what they are, that's almost divine. It's a beautiful thing. It's a positive when you say I am. And so my curiosity there is how can we say that? How can we affirm that we are, right? Like and let's make it a positive. I am a being of light and love. Like that's a beautiful thing to say, right? How can we keep that without the resistance part?
Well, I mean, here's the next biggest trickery. Um, you don't have to say I am. You can actually, I stay away from saying I am. And let
Okay.
me tell you why. Again, according to cognitive science, quantum mechanics, not according to fad, not according to philosophy, not according to it. This is the way it is. And a lot of people may hear this and say, what is he talking about? But like I said, I always bring receipts with me.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look this up for yourself if you
Sure.
like. But here's how it works. All right. So the only thing that you are is existence. So you're already here. When you say I am, you're saying that you're coming from existence. Does that make sense?
A little bit. Please
Okay.
explain more.
All right. So when someone says I am, I would say, why am I? When I say why am I, it takes me to my true potential. It takes me to all the infinite version. It takes me to the realities where I become that.
Mm,
When I say I am, it limits me because what happens is you already existing. You don't need to say I am
yeah.
because you're already it.
Got it. I see
So
what you're
if you're
saying.
saying I am, it's like you're trying to prove to the field that you're existing,
I
which
see.
creates resistance. It's
Wow.
just like you're trying to convince someone to like you. They're
Right.
not going to like you, right?
Right, right, right.
People aren't stupid. People are smart. Says, why this guy just trying to convince me so much? But imagine somebody else just come up and they just be themselves. And they don't have to convince you. You're gonna, hey, this guy is real. He's not
Yep.
trying to convince me, so he must be the truth. So when someone says I am, they're trying to convince the field and say, hey, I'm here. I have everything. That's going to create resistance.
I see.
You cannot be something that you already are.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
So I am is one of the biggest trickeries. So I
That's
don't say
really
I am anymore. So
that's really
a lot of
interesting.
people may be shocked. People may be shocked, but you can see that, and I could show you the science in that. I could show you in quantum mechanics why that is the truth.
Well, that's really interesting. And you know what?
Mhm.
The last thing I want to say on that, and I want to jump to something else, is what's cool about the ask formation, the why am I,
Mhm.
is it creates like this curiosity, right? Because you're like looking for an answer
Yeah,
as a rewiring mechanism.
exactly.
And so
Yeah.
that's cool to me. That's like you're using because I love curiosity. That's part of the reason why I started this show, and I
Mm-hmm.
continue to ask questions and seek knowledge and just
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a student, right? And I love that, and I love being a student. It's actually a lot of fun. But now that I'm getting more and more into manifesting and the power of manifesting, the power of
Yeah.
who we are and what we can do, and especially the brain, right? We can rewire it. We can create new beliefs. We can let go of limiting beliefs. That curiosity actually becomes a tool, not just something fun to do. No, I can actually use that to rewire a belief.
Well, yeah, and Aaron, you touched on something very profound. You just said it's a key word, rewire,
Yeah,
and that's the most powerful part of this affirmation. It actually rewires your brain, which is
right,
called neuroplasticity.
right.
So that's what you need and require to become successful. Your brain have to be fused to see a certain reality. It's not plugged in. The reality may be there, but you'll never experience it. So that's the other benefit of
Yeah,
affirmations.
yeah.
That's why they're so powerful.
That's so cool. So I want to kind of move into this idea of free will and willpower because I heard you talk
Hmm.
about this recently, and it really hit home for me. So for me, free will is kind of like the number one gift that we were
Right.
given, right? It was like the divine said, "Here you go. You can have whatever you want. You could choose whatever you want. This is like, here's a canvas, and what I mean by here is like this is life. Here's a canvas. Choose. It's all up to you." So that's the first part of it. Willpower is like it's almost like when I think of willpower, it's almost like the furnace that that fuels our fire, almost, so to speak. Please talk about both of those things when it relates to manifesting.
Well, free will is the ability to have choice to all the infinite versions or realities that are available to you. That's free. That's what free will is. So, uh, you say free will is the greatest gift. It's free will is not the greatest gift. Memory is the greatest gift
Okay,
because
I like that.
what I mean by that memory is so everything that exists is a replay. We live in a replay multiverse. So everything's already happened. So you've already done everything you could possibly do. That's why I hear people say you don't have free will. That's what they mean. But you do have the choice to choose a reality where you experience it. So everything. So if someone's here right now and they want to they're trying to manifest something, they have to remind them that you've already manifested that thing that you're trying to manifest. You just didn't remember.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
what I mean by memory is when we see things and we are experiencing things, that's memory from one of our past lives or from one of our timelines that your brain is replaying. So that's why I say memory is the real thing. It may seem like it's live time, but it's actually memory to get down with that. Does that
I
make
just
sense?
it does make sense, and it
Mhm.
sparks this other thing inside me, which is the grand remembering, which to me
Yeah.
as a spiritual a spiritual person, to me that means like remembering who you really are.
Yeah.
We are beings of light and love and energy
Right.
coming
But
through different lifetimes, right? and
yeah,
and
but
the yeah,
that's true. But let me break something down to you.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It's not remembering who you are. It's remembering what you are. The thing is, you and I are not human beings. We are beings playing humans.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
that's that's the one you got to get.
Okay.
So if you really want to take your life to the next level, you got to stop. We got to stop associating ourselves as humans.
Right.
When you associate, I mean, and this is what science says. Science now shows that all we are is information, vast information spread across infinity, vast information spread across different timelines that are playing right now. What happens is our brain compresses these information and gives us the illusion of a physical body. So if someone can understand that they are just beings, then a lot of the hold and the limitations will automatically filter out because now they can say anything is possible. When you see yourself as a who, you're gonna be tied to limitations. When you see yourself as a what, you're gonna be tied to infinite options.
Wow.
And that's I mean that's not me saying that's what science says now. So don't say this guy's talking bullshit. I have the receipts to show you. I mean, we can go, we can, we can do it right now. Just take a look at my wrists. That's my skin. If you go below my skin, you get into the blood. You go below the blood, you get to the cells. You go into the cells, you get to the molecules. You go to the molecules, you get into the atomic world. In the atomic world, you have protons, electrons, about 99.9% empty space. Information, you get below that, you get below the quantum world, you enter the world that's called qubits. Qubit is what information is structurally made up of the field. What powers you and I is consciousness, the awareness. No one knows what consciousness is, how it operates, but we know it's there. That's what we truly are. So there's the proof and there's the receipt for you to check that out.
Thanks for
What's
coming
the
with
other one
receipts.
now? The willpower one, yes. So willpower is the ability of your conscious mind to temporarily override your subconscious mind. So I use you always use willpower to start something,
Sure.
to push it going. It's like the key. Willpower, like you have a car, willpower will be the starter. You start your car up, and then what else drives it? The transmission, everything else. So willpower is powerful, but most people make mistake and they try to use willpower. This is why they get drained. That's why they try and they push and they get exhausted. You're not supposed to use willpower for that.
Mm. Man, Mark, I love conversing with you, man. This is we're like playing tennis here, and it's like so fun to do that with you. I wanted to bring this book up real quick. Are you familiar with this book, Spiritual Growth?
Yeah, I've heard of that book. Yeah.
By Sanaya Roman. This book,
Uh-huh.
I bring this up because Sanaya, she's passed now, but she's channeled this energy or person or being called Orion, and this book is basically how to become your higher self. And I
Yeah.
hear you talk a lot about the higher mind and the higher self. I was hoping you could just take a moment here and maybe blend timeline jumping because I know we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Maybe blend timeline jumping and how to manifest what you really want from your higher mind.
Okay. So the way to really manifest from your higher mind is a lot of self-talk out loud. So your voice carries more electromagnetic energy, right? So voice carries more of a higher frequency bandwidth. So when you talk outside versus inside, when you talk inside your head, you have your ego mind in there. When you talk outside, you have the field and your higher self. So if anyone wants to manifest anything and use their higher self, it's quite simple. Number one, become aware that you do have a higher self. That you're not in the game alone. Number two, get acquainted with your higher self. So how can you get acquainted with your higher self? You can ask your higher self, you can test your higher self to say, show me you're here. Can you give me a sign of this? Can you give me something to let me know you're here? And I guarantee you, you will get that sign. So once you get that sign, or whatever, you don't have to get the sign. If you want someone that wants to get the sign, you can get it. But then you can jump into now communicating with your higher self. And you always communicate with your higher self in a form. So the best way I can put it to you, you don't have to get specific with your higher self. You have to get specific with your subconscious, right? So if you're manifesting something, all you have to do is remember now your higher self is the real version of you. So right now, here is what we'll call, I'll use an analogy. Your higher self will be 4K, and this we're living here will be analog. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it works. So you and I are analog. We're not even digital yet. We're analog.
Right, right,
Our
right.
higher self are like 4 or 5K. So your higher self sees your whole entire timeline. He knows exactly what's going to happen before it happens. So everything, he knows how to get you everything you want. So you don't have to say, hey, can you go ahead and make sure this 29 69215 Avenue, da, 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 can you get it for me? You don't have to say that. All you have to do is go to your higher self, and in the back of your mind, you already know what you want, and says, hey, you know what I'd like to get. So go ahead and make the most easiest and effortless way for this to happen. Hey, that thing that I've been thinking about, create a way for me to get it. Hey, what's the next move for me to get this? That's basically how you
Yeah.
communicate with your higher self. And your best time to do that is right when you're winding down and going to bed,
Yeah.
because you're more relaxed, your nervous system is more down, you're more entering, that's what we call the theta state. Now your higher self can start to channel information to you.
Yeah.
Remember that your higher self is there. It's only going to help you if it's a need to help, like an emergencies type of stuff. Stuff. If it's a part of your plan, like if you're walking across the street and you're about to get hit by a car, your higher self says, wait a minute, this your timeline is not up yet, so he's going to save you. That's called
Mm,
need to help. However, your higher self won't help you with making money and all the other stuff and all manifesting lottery if you don't tell it, because it's exercising free will. It's only going to help you if it's a life or death situation. If
right.
it's not your time to go yet. So people got to understand that. So don't sit there and think, oh man, if I hear people say, well, if it's meant for me, it's gonna find me. Oh no, if it's you got to make it meant for you by making it find you. So your higher self, you have to communicate with your higher self. Okay, so he says, oh, all right, good. So you want me to help you? I'm gonna help you. So here's the information to do this.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the higher self.
So cool. Man, dude, we could spend a lot of
Mhm.
time on the higher self, and we could spend time on all these things, and maybe we'll do a part
Yeah, we,
three
we
one of
could
these
yeah
days.
we could go another 10 minutes there.
You want to go a little more? Okay, cool.
Yeah, just 10 minutes here.
I actually wanted to
Mhm.
I wanted to spend a little bit more time on the timeline jumping because
Yeah.
and 7D. Maybe I'm glad we have a little more time because
Mhm.
I think today you have something dropping in your school community, right? I want to spend some time to allow you to
Yeah.
promote that as well, but maybe we could spend a few minutes on what even is timeline jumping. We just mentioned it a little bit about the higher self, but maybe we could dive into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
And my visual is like
Yeah.
my higher self when I really tap in is pulling me in a certain direction. And
Yeah.
when I allow that to happen, it feels good. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go there. That's where I want to go. I'm going there. Why am I going there? Speaking of an ask formation, and then
Mhm.
all the answers come, and that's really cool. So maybe we could spend a little time on that, and then please blend in the 7D. What even is that?
Right. So timeline jumping is I think what what a lot of teachers and a lot of manifestors would say, that it's a new identities where you shift into a new reality. But the truth is, you and I, let's see, we've been here almost an hour, so we have timeline jumped about 6 quadrillion times so far. And then if we keep going, we may go 7 septillion times. That's like with like 500 zeros, or that's a whole lot. So what I'm saying is we're constantly time jumping in a nanoseconds or Planck seconds, so fast. And the reason why we're constantly time jumping, so you don't have to time jump, you just have to get a state of being to get to be aware of the timeline. The reason why we're time jumping is because inside of our brain, the brain actually has no receptors for time. I don't know if you know that. So think about the receptors in your brain: smell, touch, taste, smell, feel, all that. Those are receptors. We all have that. We need that. But there is no receptors in your brain for concept of time. So how do we even have? Why do we have time? Well, it's not a receptor. It's a program, a learned condition by your conscious mind, your ego, that generates what's called your circadian rhythm. So you night and day. So over what we call time, your body and your nervous system gave you the illusion of time, but there's no receptors in your brain for time. So you're constantly in time, flipping time. Time exists like a block. It's a block state. They're just coordinates of events. Everything is happening right now. Your birth is here. Your death is here. Your middle age is there, all at the right time. If you had the technology, you can go to your birth, you can go to your death, and you can come back to you. I mean, as trippy as that sounds, that's what physics says and the equations are saying right now. Just to remind you, the universe is not obligated to make sense to you and I, all right? So if someone says, hey, this doesn't make sense, hey, that's your problem. You got to make sense to it. That's just what the formula and the equations are saying right now. All right. So timeline jumping is
Wait,
something
wait,
we're constantly doing.
yeah, okay, I was just gonna say relate that to
Mhm.
manifesting though, because I want to bring
Right.
that back to the theme.
Okay, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you understand that you don't have to jump to a timeline, the timeline is already passing through you, then that creates less resistance for you trying to find a timeline of money, trying to find a time. All you have to do now is adopt the state of that timeline. So how do you adopt the state of timeline? With an affirmation. It's very simple. What would my life look like having this?
Yeah.
How would it make me feel having that? Now you can get to that timeline. Now your subconscious says, I will show you what it looks like. I'll take you to that timeline. I'll make that timeline become your state of being. What does it feel like? Okay, I'll make you feel like it. The only way you're going to feel like it is if you experience it, right? So subconsciously, I have to make you experience something to feel like it, right? So that's the timeline thing. So a lot of us, we get caught up into, I have to shift timelines. You're already shifting timelines. You just have to be aware of the timeline, not to shift it.
Okay. I mean, wow. And then talk
Mhm.
about 7D in the same vein.
Right.
3D, this is my
Mhm.
understanding of when we talk about dimensions like 3D is the here and the now, what we're looking at, everything I can touch and feel and see.
Right.
4D would maybe be a little bit more spiritual, like a higher realm. Not exactly sure what 5, 6, and 7 are. Maybe you could take over there.
Well, okay. So 3 dimensions is the physical plane, up, down, left, right. So that's we call it physical reality. That's where energy is more dense. That's where we see matter and physical stuff. Fourth dimension is the dimension of time.
Ah,
So time is now a dimension. When I'm talking about time, I mean the present moment of time. Now, now, now.
sure.
The 5D dimension is about now more awareness, higher levels of consciousness, you know, higher knowledge and understanding, enlightenment. People talk about 5D. Sixth dimension now is where uh, physical things exist as probabilities. That's where you get money, lottery win, success. All that stuff is in the sixth dimension. That's the information. So the sixth dimension would be the factory where all of the things are stored, your car, your house, all that stuff, right? And then it gets transferred down into the 3 dimension where you get to experience it. So everything you want is stored in the sixth dimension. The seventh dimension now is the highest dimension for us. And in the seventh dimension, it's a dimension of what powers your being. So it's a dimension of what's so our body, the thing that the energy that runs our body is electromagnetic energy. So your heart has an electromagnetic energy of about 6 feet, right? So when you're in the seventh dimension, you are now fine tuning your entire energy. So imagine the seventh dimension is like you have a car, right? You have a sports car, and it has already like 400 horsepower on it. And the seventh dimension now, would you tuning it and adding a turbo to it to give it an extra 400 horsepower? So the seventh dimension take what you already have and make it better. So it
Mm,
affects your DNA, the mitochondria. It recharges the energy you put out. So now if you retune your energy, that's broadcasting. So imagine having the energy broadcasting at a higher frequency range. Things can instantly come in. Resistance can go away. Healing takes faster. Every insights, genius ideas come a lot because the energy, the broadcast signal is stronger. If you have a stronger broadcast signal, more information, right? Weaker signal, just like your phone. If your phone has 5 bars, fast internet. If your phone has 2 or 3 bars, right? It takes some time to download some information.
yeah.
So that's the seventh dimension, is a dimension of the raw data that makes you tick. So what you're doing when you go to the seventh dimension, you're tuning it. But that's the course I have going right now, the 21-day course.
Yeah, promote it. Promote. First of all, thank you for sharing
Mhm.
all that. Actually, before you promote, my question for you with all this stuff, and even from our first talk, you have so much wisdom and knowledge, Mark. Are you channeling this?
Yes, well, all of us are channelers.
Yeah,
That's your higher self. But we have
right.
to allow it to come in. So if you see Abraham Hicks,
Yeah,
Esther Hicks, Bashar, that's what they're doing.
yeah.
Everyone has the ability to do that. That's a course also in my school community where you can become your own channeler. So a lot of students started doing that. Um,
Hmm.
but this is to show you, though, this is to show you that you don't have to go to like a university or a school, because remember I said information is available to everyone out there. It's in qubits form. You just
Yeah.
have to download it. And the reason you see knowledge is because I've already been there and done that. These are things that I've experienced before. So when I in this lifetime I'm here, I'm just regurgitating what I've already experienced to become the teacher. So this is my role in this lifetime is the teacher guy, right?
Cool.
My role was, okay, you're going to come here, you're going to win the lottery. The lottery is going to appeal to people, but your main reason is to teach them. So that's why I won the lottery. and then more people are like fascinated, and then I use it to just teach people. So that was my timeline to come here, right? So um, that's how it works with that. The
That's
seventh
really,
dimension, it's
yeah.
a 21-day course.
Yeah.
It's in a school platform. It basically teaches you how to implement to become that tuner of your mind so you can manifest anything easily and effortlessly. So, oh, to get to the seventh, I must say this now. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the sixth and the seventh dimension, right? You can't access those dimensions. You have to be invited to those dimensions.
Mm.
So you can access 3D, 4D, and 5D. 6D is something you have to be. It's like an invitation only. So how to get invited to the sixth dimension where you can manifest like lottery money and all that stuff. The invitation is a different mindset, a mindset to know that reality is non-local. It's not a physical reality. If you have the mindset and you're aware that all of this you're seeing is real, is not real, but you conceptually know it's not real, you're not invited to come to the sixth.
Interesting.
The seventh
Interesting.
dimension now, the only way you can get into the seventh dimension is you have to be in a fasting state. So at least between 14 to 17 hours of fasting, or at least beginners, at least 4 hours. Your last meal must be 4 hours before bedtime. And the reason why, because for you to get to the seventh dimension, the cells in your body have to be in their utmost readiness. And that's only through fasting, where it creates apoptosis, ketones. Your body now starts to flush out toxins, and now your body is ready. That's the state to get into the seventh dimension.
Interesting. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've done a 3-day water cleanse before, and the
Yeah.
second day was the most brutal. It was so hard, but I think I know what you're saying because you do feel like this access point to another realm at some point through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But look, Aaron, let me say something about
Yeah.
fasting so people are confused.
Sure.
What I'm talking about is intermittent fasting.
Hmm.
So it's not like you have to go 3 days don't eat. You have a window of time where you eat and you just don't eat.
Okay.
So that's the safest and best way. So just don't go jump and say I'm gonna do 3 day fast. Your body's not ready. You gotta slowly take yourself in. But I think everybody can do everybody can do 4 hours. Last meal, 4 hours before bedtime. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
16-hour one takes some time to learn, but that's what I'm talking about. Intermittent fasting is just a window of eating. So breakfast at 9, dinner at 1, nothing else until the next day. That's an example of intermittent fasting. Your
Got you.
body gets used to it, but that's really good. I would say if anyone wants to know one of the most powerful ways to master manifestation is intermittent fasting. If you can become an intermittent fasting, it will profoundly change your life.
Mark, you're awesome, dude. I mean, this conversation, this is one of those conversations that I kind of wish I learned when I was a kid, when I was growing up.
Yeah,
But it's one of those conversations where everything we just touched on, and I know there's more and more layers to each one of those topics, but at
yeah.
least it's like this. It calibrates us, right? When we talk like this
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
think like
exactly.
this and we're curious like this, it calibrates us to these next levels and it calibrates us to the higher self and it
Oh, of
calibrates us to the
course.
divine, right? I mean, and
But
so
you know
that's
why
why,
though? But
what's
you know
that?
why? You know why it calibrates us to that? Because that's what we are,
Yeah,
not who we are. You see, the
yeah.
thing I want to say too before is this. I want everyone to know that yeah, there is an agenda. So the stuff you learn in school and the way things are set up, it's everything is set up to keep you from reaching your full potential.
Why?
Control.
Yeah, right,
Control.
right,
Simple.
right.
I mean, you think the system wants everybody to be wealthy, everybody to have free. No, then they can't. Nothing to control, nothing to own, nothing to change. So just remember that. So that's how it's set up, and that's why they call it the Matrix.
Um, Dude, promote all your stuff and start with your YouTube channel because I'm a huge fan of your YouTube channel. I consume it almost
Mm,
daily. Talk about
good.
that. Talk about your Instagram, all that, and then please promote your school
Well,
program.
okay. So look, Mark Haughton. You find me on YouTube. School is community. You can, if this resonates with you and you're ready to change your life, and we do things that are give you systematic impact and change according to cognitive science, neuroscience, quantum mechanics, subconscious mind, then you get jump into the school. And of course, Instagram, you know where to find me and all that stuff. So I'm not really big into, like, the promoting stuff, I believe, and I know that this will find who it requires to find, and who resonates with. It'll come to you guys. So yeah, but I mean, it's doing good. You got 20,000. So this one may go higher. This is a good move.
Well, hey, I really appreciate it. And Mark, don't go anywhere. For everyone else who's here right now with us, I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We want you to stay inspired. We want you to be the best manifester you can be, and stay inspired, everybody. Thank you so much.